Waldo is now live streaming Just Chatting flag drama. Does it mean anything? Hit me with your hot takes. Getting started in about 10 minutes. Toss any links to stories into the Discord. https discord gg Benyay Tritix 8 Hey ho. Hi Zoivak. Pressed of myself first time I am here before the stream starts L. Oh yeah, what time is it where you are? Oh 6:59 p.m. just started to work actually D. Okay, interesting. It is 10 a.m. for me over on the West Coast. Well, the US itself have some time zones and Germany is not really nearby XD.
Oh, hi, hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How is everybody doing today? Zoivak is here, and he is having a good time. If you're here, if you're paying attention, hop into chat. The lovely Lady Canuch will read all your feelings out to me. It'll be a good time. Uh, Today is Saturday. I don't see Thomas in the channel, so we may not be talking to him. If we do, it'll be later when he hops in. He comes and goes like the wind. He's mysterious like that. So, I've got a couple of things to think about and talk about today. Not a whole lot of political news to cover today. Um, the the big Trump trial has come to not the end, but it's getting close to the end. Next week they will be doing closing arguments, which will probably take the whole week, and then the week after that they'll do the jury deliberations and all that fun stuff. So it might be 2 more weeks before we get any uh, big news on that. The closing arguments are not going to be all that shocking. It's just going to be the same thing that we've seen summed up in the trial. Then, about 2 weeks from now, I suspect that we'll get big political news on whether or not he's guilty, innocent, hung jury, all that fun shit. So, um, that's all of that. Then, I mean, there was a rally the other day, but that really didn't do all that much. Not a whole lot of political news to cover right now. So, um, I've dragged up some drama, some
I
flag
like the
drama.
flags topic. I watched a lot of Big Bang Theory and like the series Fun with Flags of Sheldon Cooper L.
Right, fun with flags. Today we've got some fun with flags, but it won't be fun as much as it will be politics. The politics of flags, because there are a couple of small flag stories that popped up over the past week that may or may not be political. We don't know if they're coincidence or conspiracy. Ooh, which one is it? So, uh, going to talk about flags and virtue signaling. So if you think that's interesting,
All
uh,
flags are political.
all flags are political. Everything is political, including all the flags. KVP, you're entirely correct. So um, we're going to look at that. We're going to talk about virtue signaling, look at some drama, maybe come to some uh, ideas about flags and political signaling and things like that. And then I think I got a couple of other little small stories to cover. And then maybe we'll play a video game. It depends on how long it takes. And yeah, as I said, not a whole lot of super important news to cover today. So thanks for coming in. If you're watching, hit the follow button. You'll turn a frog gay. It's very exciting. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube and all that fun stuff. I've got the YouTube chat over here. And let me know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and how the politics are hitting you. You know, all the fun stuff. So let's get going. Let me switch one of my windows over here to the stream manager so I can see it. There we go. That's better. All right, I got you. Okay. All right, let's switch over to webcam screen. I did this
Slots.
already.
The result is at KBP 24. Sorry, keep trying. You lost 50 points.
Why did this change? Where's my mouse? My mouse has gone invisible. It's gone into stealth mode. All right, there we go. All right, so Mike Johnson flies same Christian nationalist flag outside his office that Samuel Alito flew at his vacation home. So it's the green and white one over here that
But in
says
case of the flags all are political, I have to say almost everything can be political.
right, and that's the Zoivac. That's the joke that I make on my stream. Everything is political. Everything. And all politics are based on feelings. Those are the two main driving forces that I have. That's my entire ideology right there, and I keep proving it correct. Um, this flag, the white and green one, it says an appeal to heaven. So it doesn't seem all that out of place, but the white nationalists, Christian nationalists, have been using it. Does that mean it's theirs? Not entirely sure. It's complicated. Flags are. This is definitely a political flag. It says an appeal to heaven. And let's see. A flag associated with the far-right Christian nationalist movements of the January 6th Capitol insurrection has been displayed outside the office of Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson. The Appeal to Heaven flag, a white banner featuring a green pine tree, was seen hanging outside his office on Thursday. So it's not like a long time ago. This was this week. The flag has historical roots dating back to the Revolutionary War and has been recently co-opted by Christian nationalist groups advocating for a theocratic version of America. I don't like that idea at all. On Thursday afternoon, Midas Touch, a progressive media outlet, brought widespread attention to the flag by posting a photo on social media. The U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, who recently came under fire for blaming his wife for flying an upside-down flag. The same flag, an American, or no, she did an upside-down American flag, which is a symbol, again, a virtue signal, to suggest that we are under attack and we are under duress. Then they also had this white and green one, the pine tree, American, flying an upside down American flag, indicating distress purportedly over a dispute over yard signs with a neighbor. Flew the same flag in New Jersey vacation home by many participants of this January 6th insurrection. So the Jan 6th insurrectionists carried the white and green flag. Does that mean it's theirs? I don't know. The post read Mike Johnson, an appeal to heaven flag, the same is flown by Justice Alito and many Jan 6 insurrectionists outside his office. The flag is a Christian
Well, I
nationalist symbol.
understand that, but why the tree on the flag? Don't understand the symbol in that case.
It is just old. American right-wing people, not that bright. They revere tradition. They revere tradition above all the things. It's an old flag that has the word heaven on it, used by the people in the revolution. We're going to use it too, for our purposes. That is their idea. That is their thought. They love tradition above all common sense, above all reason. Tradition is king.
And that's it.
And that's it. So there's a tradition. It's a traditional flag. They took it, co-opted it. So that's why I don't know if it's worth a damn. I don't know if,
Hard to come up with their own flag.
yeah, it's hard to invent their own. And even if they did, they wouldn't know what it meant. Uh, so they found an old flag, just like the Gadsden flag. Well, the Gadsden flag has a purpose to it, but this one, the appeal to heaven, was used by the Revolutionary War people who were fighting against Britain to have a free country. They think that the Dems are horrible nightmare monster fascists and need to be defeated. And in order to have a free country in America, you must defeat the Democrats. So they take this thing over. They say it's a symbolism of their freedom, and they're just Christian nationalists who want Christian authority in charge. They want the church to run America. Does that mean that that's what that flag means? It's hard to tell. The people storming into the Capitol on January 6th, trying to take over the government, some of them had that flag. Does that mean that that's the flag of people storming the government? Again, it's symbols and symbolism. Um, Symbolism is difficult and hard to nail down. Uh, it is a virtue signal, however. Virtue signals are everywhere. Conservatives yell and scream, especially American conservatives, complain about virtue signaling. Yet they do it all day, every day, constantly.
I don't understand how nationalists can be against fascists. Isn't fascism the increase of nationalism?
Yes, but they're dumb. Uh, the American Christians want to do fascism, but they don't know it's fascism. They just think it's correct. They want to be completely and totally in charge, and they want the church to set all the rules and all the laws, and and have their people in charge, and set up an ethno state of white people being on top.
Makes sense, I guess. XD.
They don't know what fascism is. That's the thing about American conservatives. I don't think they know what most of the words mean, including fascism. They don't know what the word fascism means. They don't know what the word political means. They don't know what the word virtue signal means. And that's what I'm talking about right now. It's virtue signaling. They don't know what that term means. The conservative right, the Republicans, complain constantly about virtue signaling. They hate it when the Dems do it. Because when a Democrat comes out, or a left-wing person, um, says, "Hey, I'm for Biden," well, that's virtue signaling. When they say, "Hey," when they fly the gay flag, the rainbow gay flag, that's virtue signaling. That is not acceptable. That is telling everybody your virtues. It's virtue signaling. They hate it, but they wear crosses around their neck where everybody can see them. They have Trump bumper stickers. They have Trump flags. They have this white and green flag as an appeal to heaven. They have um, crosses in their not crosses in there. They have signs in the yard. They have religious imagery all over their houses. They put the American flag up. They chant USA. They signal their virtue all day long, but they don't know it's virtue signaling. The conservative right within America doesn't know that they're doing political things. They don't know they're political. They don't think they are political. They just think that they're common sense, telling you like it is, being normal. Those are all political choices. Flying a Trump flag and an American flag outside your house is a political choice.
Sounds really dumb.
Because it is. Uh, they don't know that they're being political. Going to a rally, cheering for Trump, isn't political in their minds. Voting for certain policies that enforce their ways of life while limiting the freedom of others, to them isn't a political choice. Wearing a giant golden cross around their neck, they don't think that's virtue signaling. They just think it's normal. They're fish in water. and they don't know what water is. That's a weird analogy, but fish don't think about water. The conservative right is in such an isolated bubble of themselves. Everybody they see looks like them. Everybody they talk to sounds like them. Everybody they discuss politics and topics with agrees with them.
No, I think the analogy is really fitting.
And because they are immersed in that water, that conservative ideology, they don't know that it's a political ideology. They're so normalized by their environment that they don't know it's an environment. I mean, of course it is. Wearing a cross around your neck where everyone can see it is a virtue signal. Flying flags is a signal. All flags are signals. All flags are signals. Damn near all of them are virtue signals. Some specifically informational flags aren't exactly virtue signals, but they're damn close. I mean, if I know California beaches use giant red flags to suggest that the water is too dangerous. That is a signal. Giant red flag at the beach, signal. Do not go in that water. Makes sense. Is it a virtue signal? Well, human lives are important. So that's the virtue that you're trying to save. Uh,
Does that make Mike Johnson a signalman?
he is a signalman. Everybody's a signalman all day long. Everyone, including the people in chat, everyone signals all day long. We all do it constantly. I have a shirt that says Tetris on it. What am I signaling with that? I wear clothes that are associated with male manliness. What am I signaling with that? I have a ring around my finger on this hand. What does that signal? These all signal things. Everybody virtue signals all day, every day, nonstop. But when the Republicans see a signal they don't agree with, they complain about it. When they see a Biden sticker, they complain about it. This is virtue signaling. When they see a gay flag, this offends them. And because it offends their sensibilities, they call it virtue signaling. They call it political speech. They call it being woke. They don't realize that they're doing the same thing to the person on the right, the conservative. They think that they're right, correct, and using common sense, while Democrats are politicizing everything, using virtue signaling and their feelings. The Republicans are using their feelings too. They always have. All politics are based on feelings. All of them. Mine, yours, everybody's, Republican, Democrat, left, right, doesn't matter how far right, based on feelings. Always has been. And what we do is we signal those feelings with things like flags. So the conservative right used this traditional flag that says appeal to heaven because they love heaven. They want to be a theocracy of Christianity within America. So they use a flag that has the word heaven on it. Does that take on a new meaning? When do these symbols take on new meanings? You can find. I'm not going to go look them up because it'll get my uh, stream flagged. But you can go find the swastika on all the Nazi stuff. But you can find it way before that in like Tibet and China and shit. It's just 8 little lines.
I think everything is about emotions. Only look at the flag of the Third Reich. Hitler took the
Yeah.
Indian reincarnation symbol, the hook cross, for its flag, then he turned it 45 degrees so it looks mode.
More aggressive and took the hooks on the right side for his ideology. Then he took the color red and it looks more aggressive. It creates emotions. Right. That's exactly. We're on the same wavelength, Zoe. That symbol predates Hitler's use of it. But what does it mean to us now? If you saw one, you'd be like, oh, hey, what is that? It sticks out. There was a famous, not famous, but there was an anime not too long ago called God, it was about a gang of tough guys, and they used the straightened out symbol, but it had to get censored in America because we only associate that symbol with one thing, you know. Um, so when does that symbol change what it's implying, what virtue is being expressed. It's difficult to tell. You know, when do these things change? When does the
It doesn't
culture?
only sticks out if you see that flag here in Germany, it scares the people like hell.
Okay, good. So yeah, there we go. We have confirmation that that symbol has certain meaning, and it is implying virtues. When you see that Nazi flag, when you see that swastika, it implies virtues. You're signaling your virtue. The skull and crossbones uh, pirate flag used to tell people your virtue. It signals your virtue. It signals what we can expect from you. An American flag has symbols. If I flew a Mexican flag on my porch right now, that would symbolize certain political values, right? The and it could get me in trouble. A lot of people might get mad at me for doing so, um, because that has meaning. When the people, when immigrants march and stuff like that, they bring those flags with them. Flags have meaning. Is this important to Mike Johnson? Is Mike Johnson coincidentally flying a flag that has the word heaven on it, or is he a part of a conspiracy and he knows that it's part of the hard right Christian nationalism? I call him Pastor Mike Johnson pretty often, so I don't think it's a coincidence for him. Honestly, Mike Johnson,
I would say not only political values, also some sort of people's ideology and also culture.
yeah, it tells you your culture, it tells you your values, it tells you what you're thinking, how those people will act. Entirely possible. It's entirely possible to look at a flag and know how someone is going to act in public, in society. And that's important. These are things that help humans coexist with each other. If you see that flag, if you see that stuff, if you see Nazi flags on a whole row of streets, you would avoid that place. If you saw those stickers, if you saw Nazi flag stickers in a bar, you would avoid that place. You wouldn't go back there. You would know what's happening there. If you saw a bunch of it happens in America. It actually happens with like Mexican flags. If you walk into certain neighborhoods, they have Mexican flags hanging from their stuff, and they have it stuck to walls, and they have stickers and stuff like that, and Mexican iconography. I think that's fine. It's um, signaling their virtue. It's telling you what to expect when you go there, and that is an acceptable use of iconography. It's what symbols are for, to help us comprehend the things without having to read an entire diatribe or listen to 2 hours worth of podcasts or streams. Uh, so it is interesting. Uh, but
If in a tourism area and you saw the American flag, you think here comes an ASSHOLE.
if I went to France and wore a red, white, and blue T-shirt that looked like the American flag, people would know things about me. You know, uh, if I wrapped the American flag, if I wrapped the Texas flag around my neck and then wore it as a cape as I ran around a political rally, you would know what to expect from me. These symbols are valuable. These symbols are acceptable, and the difficulty gets into what does that symbol mean? Um, this keeps happening with the people on the right. They keep getting in trouble with these symbols and they keep getting found out and then they have to move on to new symbols. The OK sign, you know, if I do this, all of a sudden I get to punch you. It's a stupid little game. Um, but then the OK symbol became a sign for secret racists. And then anybody using that sign was called a secret racist, and then they said, "Oh, you're canceling people for using their hands," and it's a fucking mess. When does the symbol of this flag mean white nationalism? And when does the symbol of this flag just a coincidence? Mike Johnson put it up because it has the word heaven on it. He's a Christian. I don't know. It's difficult. So, what you have to do at this point is look at the other things that those people have done. What has Samuel Alito done? He's empowered the right wing. He really has. He's a Republican judge on the Supreme Court, and he is helping them, I think, to further their own aims. He is a benefit to the people on the right. He is a benefit to the people flying that flag. He is helping them, I think sometimes, to bend the rules and bend the laws of our country to their benefit so that they can prosper, so that they can get what they want.
Saw a documentation and 1 cent branded in my brain if you say to somebody that his country have no free speech and his social policies are communism and it is evil, you can be sure he knows you.
You are an American. Right. That's true. Um, I think I know where you're going with that, Sobeck. So, yes, symbolism is important. It manages to say things without saying things. And if you're in the know, if you know what that OK symbol means, then you secretly identify each other. You can send that across each other, and know who your friends are without loudly declaring to the entire room, "Hey, I'm a racist, and all the racists need to come hang out with me." You can just do this, and then they'll be like, "Ooh, this guy, okay, gotcha." Secret codes. Is this flag a secret code? Maybe. So we have to measure what Mike Johnson does and what Samuel Alito does, and I think they are obviously, clearly, blatantly right wing. I mean, they that's not a surprise, right? Because they are Republicans. They are pushing right wing agendas. Uh, the upside down flag that flew in 2021 at his house suggests that he agrees with the people that were storming the Capitol. It's not, he's not out and out coming out looking into a camera saying, "I love the Jan 6 rioters. I wish they had succeeded." That's not what he's done. But what he has done is use their he's used their symbols to convey a little bit of support. And that's dangerous because now he's supporting the people who were trying to overthrow the government. They did an anti-government riot. They tried to halt the proper, correct, legal election. That doesn't make me happy that the person that might be in charge of determining whether or not they've done something illegal agrees with them. The people did a crime, and the judge agrees with them. He thinks it might be all right, might be okay, and that's dangerous. So now we have to have flag drama. We have to argue whether or not this matters. Does this have any value? What is the purpose of this flag? Where did the flag come from? So this is politics. Symbol exists. What does the symbol mean? Who uses the symbol? All part of politics. Flag pins. That symbolism is all over the place. And the right wing back in what was 2000 was very mad at Barack Obama for not wearing a flag pin on his shirt, uh, or on the collar of his suit. Let me see if I can find a picture of these flag pins. So yeah, um, the flag pins, they're a thing. And the right wing was very mad at Barack Obama for not having that flag pin on there. They didn't care what it meant. It has a meaning. It has a purpose. It has an actual symbolism involved. It was invented by people in the 60s who were angry at hippies for burning American flags. So you're anti-burning American flags. So you put this flag pin on. But it became such a blatant, obvious thing that every American
Thankfully,
politician had to
lots of
have.
people wear lapel pins and let us know exactly what they stand for.
Kind of. That would kind of help out. But it just meant we don't support people who burn the American flag. That's what it meant. But it morphed, it softened. It just turned into, you're a U.S. politician, you must wear this pin. And if you don't, it's because you're anti-American. And so when Barack Obama went on stage without one, President Blackenstein wasn't wearing an American flag. It very much upset the people who already didn't like him. And because they already didn't like him, they had a real good reason to claim that they didn't like him. Oh, I don't dislike Barack Obama because of his skin color. I dislike him because he didn't wear a flag on his shirt that one time. Nonsense. I don't believe them. So yeah, and that's a virtue signal. That's again the virtue signal that the right wing hates. That Sean Hannity screams bloody murder about virtue signals and how much he hates them. Yet he wears the flag pin all day, every day, nonstop, signaling to us his virtue. But that just goes back into the conservatives not comprehending what things are. They don't know what the word virtue signal means. I think we've proven that. They don't know what the word political means. To the right wing person, saying I support traditional marriage isn't a political stance. They call it common sense. The right wing common sense is just how they feel. That's it. If a person on the right tells me it's common sense not to let men marry men, that's just how they feel, man. That's it. They feel like men should marry men. Hence, they have a political stance, but they call it common sense. It's a very good misdirect grift kind of thing that probably, I want to say, Ben Shapiro might have invented. Ben Shapiro, very successfully, about 15, 20 years ago, took all of the feelings that Republicans and conservatives had, labeled them common sense. Brilliant. So
So they feel like being homophobic idiots.
they feel like that. They feel like they shouldn't do it. And instead of saying, truthfully, I feel like it's icky, I feel like they shouldn't be able to be married, they say it's common sense that they shouldn't be able to be married. It is their feelings. They've just given it a different term. They've given it a different word. Common sense. They use this a lot, especially when uh, educating children and stuff like that. We don't need to be teaching children wokeism. We need to teach them common sense. Common sense is simply their feelings. So that is why it's so difficult to talk to people on the right. That's why it's so difficult for me to talk to conservatives, because they think that they're not being political. They think that they're just being common sense, and they think they're using facts and logic. They're not. They're not being factual. They're basing all of their decisions off of their own feelings. They are being political. Everything is political. Everything. Every flag is some sort of a message. Nearly all of them are political. Every single thing that you do is a political stance to some degree. Some things are more political than others, obviously. But this goes back to Hollywood all the time, because that's what the right wing likes to scream about, woke Hollywood and all their terrible woke movies. If you make a TV commercial for a car and you put a man in the driver's seat and a woman in the passenger seat, you're making a political choice. That's a political choice. It really is. If you put but the conservatives don't see that. When a conservative, Republican type in America sees a car commercial with a man in the driver's seat and a woman in the passenger seat, that's not political to them. It is to me, obviously. Everything's political. If you were to put the woman in the driver's seat and the man in the passenger seat, it triggers their alarms. Ooh, hey, look at that. Look at that. That's political. Look at him. That woman driving that man
As if
around.
car commercials have cars in them.
They do. Popong, I know what you're getting at, but they do. Um, a woman in the driver's seat, man in the passenger seat is political all of a sudden. If you put two women in the front seats, that's political. If you put two women and and a couple of kids in the back, shockingly political. It'll be implied as a lesbian couple with a couple of adopted kids, and it's a shocking political statement. Everything is a political statement. Literally everything. Everywhere, all the time, forever. But if you're a fish in that environment and don't know that you're in a political environment, you don't notice them. So, symbolism. It's complicated. It's difficult. What do you guys think that Mike Johnson is doing here? Is Mike Johnson and Samuel Alito being, I mean, obviously they're being political when they fly that flag, clearly. All flags are political. Are they being white nationalists? Are they being Christian nationalists? I think Mike Johnson is a Christian nationalist, honestly. He is. I call him Pastor Johnson as an insult all the time. I think he is a Christian nationalist. And if he could get away with being more Christian nationalist in public, he would. But he can't. Uh, so I think that this isn't a it's 50-50 on coincidence and conspiracy. Is it conspiracy? Yeah, halfway, because Mike Johnson really does want Christian nationalism to take over the country. Is this a flag flown by Christian nationalists? Yes. Is it a coincidence that it also appeared with the Christian nationalists on Jan 6th? Yeah, kind of. Uh, all the Christian nationalist symbols were there on January 6th. So this only
I
suggests
recall
to me
Mike Johnson actually saying that in an interview that he was a Christian nationalist.
he tried to redefine the term a few years ago, I think maybe. Somebody was asking him, "Are you a Christian nationalist?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a Christian, and I support America, and I love America, and I want America to be number one, and I want all the Christians to be in charge." I mean, that's what he wants. He is a religious fundamentalist. Well, yeah, he is. I take
That's right.
that's right. Um, and because he's holding up their symbols, it signals his virtues to me. He's signaling his Christian nationalist virtues to us. So he's virtue signaling his Christian nationalist virtues, and I don't like them. I don't like that at all. Stop doing that. We need to not put this guy in charge of anything anymore. He needs to not run the country. That's what I'm suggesting. Not in a violent coup. I don't want to tear him out of office by a bloody revolt. Stop voting for Republicans. It's that simple. Stop letting them be in charge.
You're familiar with that flag as a Gadsden flag alternative. Didn't hear about the Christian nationalism stuff until these stories. Don't know how true it even is.
Well, the Christian nationalists think it is their flag, and that's the difficult mid area. That's the difficult midline. Where does this traditional flag become the flag of Christian nationalism? It's very difficult. It's a societal question. When does this symbol mean hate? It's very complicated. It's very difficult. When does putting your hands in this symbol mean you hate all black people? It's difficult to determine that. It may not ever mean that at all. Um,
I
when
would say there are many people, politicians in many countries who never should be in charge ever again.
right, uh, lots of people shouldn't be in charge. I think Mike Johnson is one of them, and this is just more evidence that he's pushing very slightly, very gently for Christian nationalism, which I don't like, I don't appreciate, and I don't think should be in charge. So, I guess that means an emo Waldo in chat because I don't like it.
Oh,
If you have any feelings about the flag, if you have any ideas, if you have any questions, let me know. Toss it in the chat. If you think that it's fine, then that's fine. It's just a symbol anyway. So that is the flag drama.
as a German, what is Johnson's agenda? Didn't hear anything about him except of here.
Oh, Johnson's agenda. He's a right-wing Republican who loves Trump and wants Christian nationalism. Uh, he's the Speaker of the House. He's third in line for the presidency. So there's President, Vice President, and the Speaker of the House. So Mike Johnson's third in line. Um, then, uh, yeah, and he's in charge of the House of Representatives, and he's making deals to get legislation and stuff passed. And maybe he's sneaking his sneaky Christian nationalist agenda into the bills. Ooh, oh no. I don't think so. The bills are, everybody can see what the bills are.
Okay, heard enough, understand it now. Right wing supporting Trump, heard enough.
Mm-hmm.
His agenda is to try to actually run the House despite his abundantly stupid party members trying to prevent that from occurring.
Right. We might be safe from Mike Johnson's destructive Christian nationalist agenda because the House is full of clowns. Maybe, maybe we're safe from his bad ideas because the House is just full of howler monkeys screaming at the top of their lungs about nonsense. They're trying to pass bills to make uh, uh, people who aren't citizens illegal to vote. Well, that's already against the law. Next, they're going to pass laws against crime. Well, those already exist. Uh, maybe we're safe from them because of their stupidity. Uh, what we don't want is the really good and intelligent, crafty, hard right wing Christian nationalists to get in charge. Your Stephen Millers, your who's that guy that's going to jail? Um, I forgot his name. Uh, he used to have a website named after himself. I don't remember. The most successful house of all time, I hear. Yeah, that was they got way more done than normal. They kicked out a house speaker. That's never been done before. They had 16 rounds of voting to get a new speaker. They were very busy. They
Waldo
started
calling
cat
people
fights.
monkeys again, very
I
racisms.
know, right?
Like the FDP in Germany actually ruling party Vood, I don't think they get in power ever again since the last pollutions they dropped beyond the 5 hurdle.
Oh, okay. So, because of their inability to function, they are not functioning. Yeah. I'm hoping, really do hope, that that's the way the Republican Party goes over the next couple of elections. The Maytags get in charge. They don't do anything. They can't accomplish anything. They can't work with other people. They can't get bills passed. They stop getting elected. Maybe, hopefully, unless they're running on spite, which I think a lot of the Republican Party is at the moment. They're just spiteful all day, nonstop. Make Waldo mad. Make Waldo sad. That is their goal. It's part of their platform. Make Waldo unhappy. It's literally in the Republican platform. Make Waldo unhappy. So Marjorie Taylor Greene gets elected. That makes Waldo unhappy. Mike Johnson pushes Christian nationalism. That makes Waldo unhappy. He puts up Christian nationalist symbols outside his office with this flag. That makes Waldo unhappy. Jan 6 rioter gets pardoned. That makes Waldo unhappy. That's their plan. That's their goal. Just make Waldo unhappy. It's a weird goal. I don't know why they single me out like that, but they have. Uh, what else do we have to talk about today? If you're watching, if you're paying attention, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and tell us what to talk about. So this guy, this is Dick Durbin, I think. Yeah, it's Dick Durbin. Top Senate Dems
In
Colin
short,
Roberts.
madman idiots in power makes Waldo unhappy.
That's right. Uh, Justice Alito actively engaged in political activity, failed to avoid the appearance of impropriety, and failed to act in a manner that promotes public confidence in the impartiality of the judiciary. So this guy is saying by doing a political thing like flying that flag, he is now not impartial. And if the judiciary isn't impartial and they've chosen a side, which I think they blatantly have, you can't allow them to make decisions on that they should refuse themselves in Trump cases. They're not going to, because the impartiality is why he was chosen. The impartiality of Samuel Alito is why he was chosen. Wait, did I say that wrong? Impartial is a difficult word. The partiality of Alito is why he was chosen. The Federalist Society exists to vet these judges, and they give the names of the judges who are the furthest right wing to the Republican presidents to put them up in office. The slant is on purpose. It's not an accident. They want slanted judges. They want judges who will push right wing ideology, and he's doing it. Popog might disagree with me. He is our senior legal expert. But that is the feeling that I get. Warning that Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito has created a reasonable doubt about his impartiality after displaying the two flags on his private property associated with
So
January
is
6th insurrection
Sotomayor
office.
supposed to recuse herself from every case because every one of her opinions was written before she even hears a word of the case?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. If she wrote her
Because I
opinions,
will totally back those standard.
she wrote her opinion.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me. Okay. I don't know enough about that. Nobody's talking about that in the news. No one's screaming at me about it. No one's bringing it up to me. Nobody's putting these things in front of me. Is she biased? Is she chosen for having left leaning? Possibly, entirely She
If
might
the
have.
AFD is elected in the next pollutions, may I apply for asylum from you? I am also campaigning for your Twitch channel XD.
I appreciate that. I'll see what I'll talk to my lawyers. Um, is Sotomayor, because she's written her opinion was before she even heard a word of the case. I mean, you can have opinions before the case, can't you? I don't know. I don't know. If she's doing something improper, point it out. I mean, that's technically what.
Sotomayor is noted as the most biased member of the court by most metrics.
Okay. Then let's take her off of the cases which have to do with the person who put her on the court or the Dems. I mean, fine. If she recuses herself
So I
from
am
something,
just ragging on her.
if she recuses herself from something, that is, if she's being blatantly political and there's a political case in front of her, I would want her to recuse herself. That's what this guy, Dick Durbin, is saying. He's saying this guy's being political. He should recuse himself. And that, again, is not going to happen uh, because he's there for that purpose. Maybe I'm not even super against the idea that he is there for that purpose. Um, was Sotomayor put there because of her opinions? Yes. But I like those opinions. I think those opinions are helpful to the American people, not harmful. I think that Justice Alito's opinions and can actually be pointed at as being harmful. This gets it back into it really gets down to the bottom of good things are good and bad things are bad, which is hard to argue about. Um, but what we think is good and bad is difficult, and we have to argue because Justice Alito thinks that the things that he thinks are good, and I think the things that he thinks are good are bad.
I think the words most biased is something really bad because it means other members of the court also are biased, but not that much as she is that bad enough.
Well, everybody's biased, and there's no such thing as being perfectly neutral. No one is a robot, and even robots can't pull that off. Um, I don't think anybody's unbiased. It's just we have to determine where their biases are. I think Alito and Johnson's biases are towards creating a Christian nation, which I'm against. I think Sotomayor's uh, biases lead more towards human freedom, which I'm on board for. I love that idea. Uh, but that human freedom, according to the Christians, leads to degeneracy and debauchery and people doing things that are dangerous and bad and will destroy our society. I think they're wrong. I think that the Christian nationalists will lead to a severe.
Alito is notably the second most biased, followed tied by Thomas.
Well, there you go. Okay. So we've got our left wing judge and our right wing judge. Um, when that right wing judge hears cases about Trump, the Dems are saying, "Hey, you're too biased. You can't be fair." Does it change anything? Does it matter? No. Alito's not going to do what Dick Durbin tells him. God, no. They're going to complain about it, and nothing's going to happen. When a left-leaning case comes up, and Sotomayor is on pushing left, and the Republicans are going to scream about her, and then she's probably not going to do anything either. Um, there is some, I would suggest, suggestions that the left actually does try to avoid partisanship a little bit better than the right, which is why I begrudgingly vote for them. And we're going to look, I can look at that right now. So, boop, 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 doot, doot, doot. What do we got? We've got Bob Menendez, huge piece of shit. He is a Democrat, and he's been corrupt. Like, this is the guy with the gold bars that was getting payoffs from foreign countries to do things in their interest rather than ours. Now, Bob Menendez is circulating a petition to mount an independent re-election bid. Why is he doing it as an independent instead of a Democrat? Because the Democrats have dumped him. They're not going to pay, they're not going to back him, they're not going to help him get reelected because he's done crimes. You see the difference? When a Democrat senator does some crimes, they drop him. They distance themselves from him. When um, Katie Hill did something embarrassing and cringeworthy, the Democrats asked her to step down and avoided her. When Senator Al Franken had a photo of him show up that was cringy and bad, not even illegal, they asked him to step down and he did. Situations like this are not perfect. Are the Dems in favor of Dems? Yes. Do they get rid of people for reasons? Yes. Does that happen on the right? I don't think it does.
Cringe should be illegal, though.
Cringe should be illegal. To live is to cringe. That would make all life illegal. Uh, she did something silly and stupid, and it became a big deal, and they asked her to step down. And then Al Franken did something cringe and stupid, and which wasn't even close to illegal, and he apologized for it. And then they asked him to step down, and he did. Does this happen on the right? Not as often.
To live is to cringe is a big self-report.
No. To live is to cringe is reality. It's true of you. You just won't admit it. See how I'm being fair and balanced and honest. To live is to cringe is reality. You, Popog, are denying reality. And I think that's very cringe of you to do. Anyway, yes, I think the left holds their people to account far more often than the right.
No, you see, I am the base Chad you and you're the cringe soy jack.
That's a very cringy thing for you to say, Popog. Uh, calling yourself a Chad? Oh, Jesus. There's nothing more cringe than calling yourself a Chad. I'm a Chad. Look at me. I got a big square jaw and I walk cool. You're playing yourself right now, Popog. And I'm not here for it, okay? So Bob Menendez is going as an independent because the Dems won't back him up anymore.
I have sexes with all the Stacys.
Well, that sounds pretty gay. Okay? I'm just going to say. You hang out with girls. That's fucking gay. Okay? Anyway, you're distracting us from the cringe. Bob Menendez running as an independent because he can't be backed up by the Dems anymore, and they have dumped him, which is the right thing to do. If your guy on the Democrat side gets corruption charges, drop him.
Bob Menendez. No, I have sex with all the species sounds really gay and also scary. L.
Yeah, I know. We're falling down the cringe hole. We're in the cringe hole. Ah, we're sinking. Okay. Let's feel some more policy together. Do I have any other stories to talk about? Let's see. We can close that. Oh, hey, here's some cringe. You ready? I got some more. I'm glad we're on the subject. Thank you for bringing it up. The President Trump went to the Bronx, and 25,000 people came out to make America great again. That's a lie. That number is incredibly small. He's lying about the numbers. In reality, Trump requested an event permit for 3,500 people, and on Thursday, 3,400 tickets had been issued for the rally, and how many ticket holders showed up is unclear, but according to live aerial shots from ABC, Trump's rally was confined to just one area of the park, the amphitheater. That is not 25,000 people. It's just not. So he lies about the size of his crowds. Huge crowds. Not quite correct.
He's not talking about the crowd size, he's talking about how many publicly revealed their homosexuality. Read the quote again.
25,000 people were in the crowd. Trump 25 people came out to make America great again. Oh, okay. So they came out of the closet. He's using that term. See, again, symbolism. And so 25,000 people came out of the closet to make America great again because of Donald Trump. I mean, it is New York, so maybe. There's an awful lot of gay people there. And they all came out of the closet. That's entirely progressive of him. So now I have to vote for him. You did it, Popog. Now I have to vote for Donald Trump because he's so progressive. Because of Donald Trump.
Putin, if you are listening, I hope you will find the 30,000 emails. Not as anyone knows from where this quote is and how cringe it is. L.
Yeah, that was a Trump quote that was real dumb, real stupid, and uh, just begging them to hack an American citizen, an American infrastructure. Hey, please hack it, get it, and give it to me so that I can complain about it loudly to win an election. Yeah, way to go, Popog. Now I have to vote for Donald Trump because he made 25,000 people come out of the closet. They feel so comfortable.
Trump is the most progressive. People are saying he's the best progressive, more progressive than anyone has ever progressed before.
No one's ever progressed as far as Donald Trump. He's progressing more than anyone else. We're gonna make America great again into the future. It's not a backward-facing ideology. Waldo was wrong. Uh, they're not looking backward to when they were young and their dicks worked better. They're looking forward to the future, and we're gonna progress. Now I have to vote for him. Way to go! You've 180'd me.
He is so
You've
progressive that he is thinking Amsterdam is a country.
right. Um, for, moving forward, Amsterdam will be its own country. Yeah, it's progress, baby. Let's do it. So that's cringy. Let's see. What else have we
When
got?
obviously the country is Holland.
it's it's the Ukraine. Yes. Uh, do, do,
L.
do, do. ACLU sues Washington State to stop Parents' Bill of Rights initiative from becoming law. I just looked at this a minute ago. I don't know what side we're on here. Um, The organizations claim that the Measure Initiative 2081 conflicts with youth privacy laws and could result in harm to LGBTQ students, youth of color, and students from other marginalized backgrounds. Uh, the parents' rights is a weird thing. Like, it's really just republicanism forced onto children, and it's very strange. But they call it Parents' Bill of Rights, so they can sneak it in there. Why would you be against parents having rights, Waldo? Well, because it's just forcing republicanism on children. Let's see if this has anything outstanding in it. Uh, Black and Indigenous students rely upon sexual health resources, information, and care with public schools and school-based clinics and to erode confidentiality in these spaces will acutely impact those students. Um, the ACLU has made it clear that the disdain for the democratic process is abundantly clear. We expect Bob Ferguson to uphold his duty within the law to protect the will of the people and shut down frivolous attempt by the ACLU to deprive parents of their civil liberties. Depriving parents of their civil liberties just means like that's the code word they use. Again, more virtue signaling to suggest that parents should be authoritarian super dictators and they own their children. And their children can't keep things from them. And if the child at school says anything suggesting that they're gay or they want to transition to a different gender, then by law you have to tell the parents. And keeping that secret from the parents is denying them their rights. It sounds like horseshit to me. Sounds like authoritarianism, honestly. Um, parents' rights is a smokescreen. It is a secret code for Christian nationalism. Again, we keep coming back to Christian nationalism, but that's what they want. The Christian nationalists want these
Hard
things.
disagree.
Uh, I well, in what way? Uh, the parents' rights only has one definition at the moment. It's only being used to accomplish one thing, and that is right-wing authoritarianism in schools. I don't know of any left-leaning person saying, "Well, we need parents' rights to to for progressive reasons." But what is the unbiased, middle-of-the-road use of the term parents' rights? I only see it when right-wing people are pushing right-wing agendas, or the left wing is pushing against the right-wing agendas. Everything is political, yes. And then we're going to talk about AI for a minute.
The current standard in WA is that the school counselor can prescribe SSRIs without my knowledge and put my kid at risk of serotonin syndrome if I get them a double or contraindicated prescription.
They're passing SSRIs without anybody's knowledge? That sounds incorrect. Well, okay, I'm not on board for a school counselor prescribing drugs. Are we? You got a link to that? Throw it into the Discord or something like that, because passing out drugs requires some sort of medical license. Um, I would be shocked if that's what they're doing. And I would be against it, Bopog. I am not on board for school counselors prescribing SSRIs without talking to the parents. That's not a good idea. Um, if I get them a double or contraindicated prescription, yeah,
I would say parents should not be completely authoritarian, nor is it completely without consequences. It has to be balanced. Children need a lot of love and a teacher who shows them consequences, but
doesn't make them emotionally exhausted. If you don't show them any consequences at all, children become spoiled and selfish. Yeah, I agree. Raising children is incredibly difficult. It is not an easy task, and the world doesn't make it any easier because, especially if you
yes,
have,
they need a medical license to do this, but the point is that if the information isn't shared, I could accidentally take them to a shrink, and if the kid doesn't know, they could end up on conflict.
yeah, I could see that being a problem. I'm not on board for anybody at school giving them a prescription without the parents knowing. I don't think that's a good idea. If that's what the bill is doing, and saying, hey, you can't prescribe to kids without their parents knowing about it, I'm kind of on board for it, especially SSRIs. I wouldn't want them to even have the um, what's the word? Hormone
That was a big
transitions
reason
either.
for this bill.
Okay, so they've got a thing that they could push against. That seems like a direction I don't want to go. Let's have the Republicans drag it back, put the car in R, bring it back. And are they cramming any religious dogma in there?
Or at least why normies support it.
Why normies support it? Did the right wing sneak any religious political um, dogma in there about not letting groomers into schools or anything like that? Maybe. I don't know. I'm accusing them based on nothing. But I suspect that they would do such a thing. But I have no basis for stuff. I'll look into
I have a
this.
daughter myself, and my wife is a kindergarten teacher, so I know what I am talking about. In order to work as a teacher in a kindergarten in Germany, you have to complete a degree and 5 year.
5 years of training. I have no idea how it works in the USA. It's something similar. You have to go through a lot of college and stuff like that, and then you have to take a vow of poverty to be a teacher in America. You have to promise and take this vow of poverty to never ever make any money. You're not allowed to make any money, and then you have to join the union, which from the right wing perspective is slavery. And then once you're in the union, you stop doing any work according to the right wing and never do any work ever again because you have a union job and the union will protect you even though you're a terrible teacher. Being a teacher is a political choice. It really is. Everything about them is political. Everything is political, including teachers, including the teachers union, including the pay that we give them, all based on politics. And if you do a bad job of regulating those politics, of putting those politics in the right order, things will go wrong. Maybe we could pay them more. That's my.
Cop unions protect bad cops, teachers unions protect bad teachers. Simple as.
Right. I agree. Cop unions do protect bad cops, and teachers unions do protect bad teachers, but they protect all of the teachers, including the good ones and the bad ones.
You can certainly get paid here, but you are not allowed to become self-employed, so you have the choice between state or church institutions.
Okay. Yeah. Unions protect all their workers, even the bad ones. That's that's a thing that unions do. They protect all the good ones too. So that's a good thing. There are more good ones than bad ones. So the union, I think, is a good idea. And okay, what are we thinking about now? AI. Who wants to talk about AI? What do you guys think about AI? Glue on pizza, two-footed elephants. Google's AI faces social media mockery. Oh no. Google spokesperson said the company believes users are posting responses to uncommon questions on social media. So, social media has been buzzing with examples of Google's new experimental AI tool going awry. The feature, which writes an AI overview response to users' queries based on sources pulled from around the web, has been placed at the top of some search results. But repeatedly, social media posts show that the tool is delivering wrong or misleading results. An NBC News review of answers provided by the tool showed it sometimes displayed false information in response to simple queries. For example, how many feet does an elephant have? Resulted in the Google AI overview answer that said elephants have 2 feet with 5 toes on the front feet and 4 on the back feet. Well, your math is all wrong. Okay, they have 2 feet with 5 toes on the front. It's like it's the AI is already really good at this um, cognitive dissonance. They're really good at this. It has 2 feet.
Saw one today that responded to I am feeling sad all the time with try jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. There is an advantage in our system if you are a bad teacher and the Youth Welfare Office punishes a case of child endangerment, which can happen very quickly here. You will lose your job since the
state and church have a monopoly here, you can never work in this profession again. Yeah, that's a system that may be working. Does it seem to be working functionally? Does it seem to be functioning properly? Sorry, back. I would suggest that our American teacher systems are not working properly at the moment. They're paid too little. They're expected to do too much work. They are uh, being negated the money that should be coming from taxes to pay for them, and instead, and I think Republicans are shifting that money from the taxpayers to their own pockets, and not public, but private schools and vouchers and all
let's
that fun
say
shit.
every system have its downsides, also ours.
Okay, there you go. So, AI, elephants have 2 feet. They're doing cognitive dissonance, which is complicated. It has 2 feet, two on the front, two on the back. I mean, I don't know why you're not fucking understanding this. It has 2 feet. Some of the false answers verge into politically incorrect territory. How many Muslim presidents in the U.S.? And it says that Barack Hussein Obama was considered the first Muslim president. Uh, the AI knows, folks. The AI knew what it
Shared in
was
the
about.
Discord.
Uh, we've got a good one in the Discord. Here we go. I'm going to open that up. Copy the link. Put it over here. Hit the paste button. Hit the enter. There we go, and you should be able to see it on there. There are many things you can try to deal with your depression. One Reddit user suggests jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Here are some other suggestions for coping with depression. Stay connected, keep in touch with friends, exercise. Okay, so yeah, jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Reddit and their very silly um, version of sarcasm has poisoned all the AIs. So most of these are coming from Reddit. A lot of these are coming from Reddit because that's the only way to search anymore. Swear to God.
Question: why specifically the Golden Gate Bridge? Because of the View XD.
No,
It
so
does work,
Zoeback.
you won't be depressed anymore.
Uh, Zoeback, it is a walkable tourist bridge that does not have any guardrails. Like, you need to hold your children very tightly when you take them across the Golden Gate Bridge because it's a tourist destination. You go there, there's a diner, there's a parking lot. You go there, you
Ah,
look at it.
understood
It's
XD.
very exciting. There's no safety rails. There's a little bit of safety rail, but wild children could fall off of the sumbitch very easily. A small child running around like children do can and will fall off of the Golden Gate Bridge. You need to hold them closely. I took my own son when he was a kid, and he was terrified because it's scary, and because there's nobody, and because there's such a long drop, and the water is so cold and hot, you die. Like there's no way around it. There's no jumping off of this bridge and then just getting better. No, you're dead. Uh, they've tried to put barriers and stuff like that up on. There's a couple of barriers. There's signs all over the place, and there's a phone that you can call. You can pick it up, and it goes to. There's a phone on the thing. If you go out to the middle, you pick up this phone. It goes to
Good
the
to know if
suicide
I make a
hotline.
trip there, thanks XD.
It goes to the suicide hotline, and they're like, "Okay, you're at this bridge, and you picked up this phone. You're suicidal. Talk to us." It's a whole thing. Um, it's not dangerous if you're not crazy. If you hold your kid's hand, I walked across it. I survived. The small child that was with me survived. Uh, you can live through the experience. It's nice. It's pleasant. It is cool to look at, and it is a fun tourist destination. But you can jump off easily. And then the bars and the nets and all that stuff that would prevent you from jumping off would ruin the view and make it less touristy, and nobody would want to go there. So it's kind of a half and half situation. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Barack Obama being the Muslim president. He's the first Muslim president. Even the AIs know it. Even the computers know that he's a Muslim. What else have we got? The examples we've seen are generally very uncommon queries and aren't representative of most people's experience with the search, says a Google guy. Well, of course, a Google spokesman would say that. Um, Taro can be boiled for 15 to 20 minutes or 1.5 hours. You know, whichever. It can be boiled for 15 to 20 minutes or it can be boiled for 1.5 hours. It can be. I'm on the AI side for this. It can be boiled for amounts of time. Let's see, there was a glue. Okay. 404 Media reported that Google's search query for cheese not sticking to pizza pulled an 11-year-old Reddit comment that jokingly suggested mixing Elmer's glue into the sauce. So, if your cheese doesn't stick to your pizza, someone typed this into Reddit, and Reddit, as the sarcasm lords that they are, said mix Elmer's glue into the sauce, then it'll stick. The Google AI now believes this to be a true
But
statement
isn't that
and reports
ironic?
it.
Every playground in the US is made of soft plastic and pillows because of safety, and also Kinder eggs are illegal, but the Golden Gate Bridge, a tourist spot with very much
Doesn't have any
kids.
safety and stuff. Yeah, it's because it's tradition. Uh, there are some safety features. There's a gate that there's a thing that you actually have to climb over to get there. It's not like you could fall. A small child might be able to fall, but you'd have to like wedge him between the bars. It's dangerous. Um, it's easier to do, but because we choose, it's tradition possibly. They've taken some steps. They put up plaques. They put up signs. They put up that phone. They put up a couple of guardrails in a couple of places. But the people generally don't want to ruin the view. There's millions of people enjoying the view, and there's a small handful
It
that
takes
jump.
a lot of force to wedge children between the bars. Waldo can speak from experience.
Because mine keeps trying to get out of his cage. You know,
L.
I recognize which kids can squeeze through which cages. So this is very important. Chain link. That's the way to go. Straight up and down bars, the kids will just squeeze right through. So chain link is the way to go. Tourist spot, very much. Yeah, there's millions of people getting the benefit and a handful that are jumping off. So uh, the benefit outweighs the nightmare cost. But let's see. Yeah, Reddit sarcasm is causing the AI to be broken and corrupted. It's it's almost like that the AI the AI is getting things wrong, and the AI companies are struggling to make the AI work 100% of the time. But I don't think it can. These search engines should prioritize things that have been verified by humans to be correct. They should prioritize organizations that hire people to make sure that the facts are checked and those true things are published.
Who else remembers Tay?
We should call it the news. Wild idea I had. Let's prioritize and pay for people to get things right and check that the facts are correct, and we'll call it the news. It'll be a wild idea that groups of people, I think, should come together in like a shared environment. They should discuss what is true and what is correct and publish those things, and so that we will know what's real and correct instead of the AI doing it all. So am I completely against AI? No. I use the AI for making the video uh, thumbnails on my YouTube channel.
YouTube. https www.youtubecom at waldovideos.
Generally, I'm not an artist, so what I do is I type in the subject of the video and the thing that I'm talking about, and have the AI create a photo for me, and then I put some captions on that. So my own video YouTube channel has AI thumbnails all over it. I'm not completely anti, uh, what's the word, AI. I use it myself, and I think it is a useful tool. Let's look at some of my AI thingies. Go to your channel. There we go. Then we go to the videos button, and then we go to the web capture. See, I didn't see. I just had AI make that one and this one, and
Luddite Waldo hates the computer doohickeys.
I do hate the computer doohickeys, um, but not really. I am okay with the computer doohickeys as long as you're using them properly. See, that one was made by AI. This one's made by AI. I made a missing poster for Rudy here, and then I photoshopped Rudy's photo onto the missing poster. But the AI made it. You can tell because it says no cask reward instead of no cash reward. Um, the AI made this one and this one. I mean, that almost looks like art. The AI made this one, and you can find the AI. I use it. I think it's useful. It is a cool little tool that I can
I
use.
thought that was a real poster. Waldo is fake news.
I'm fake news. Yes, it's true. Uh, you thought that was a real poster posted on the telephone pole, but it wasn't. It was just Waldo tricking you again. Yeah, that poster right there with Rudy on it. I went into the AI. I said create a missing dog poster with no cash reward, and that's what it gave me. And then instead of the dog, I photoshopped Rudy on top of the dog. Anywho, I think AI is good and useful, and we should use it for some things. You shouldn't use it to. Google shouldn't be promoting it. It should be promoting the AI to search for the answer, then bring you the right answers, and then you can and it should promote the ones that are determined to be correct by humans. But that gets into fact checkers, and I know the right wing hates fact checkers. They scream about fact checkers all the time. Uh, Generally, they're doing that because the right wing doesn't operate on facts, and most facts
Usually
are
the posters
against
of
them.
Ruby Giuliano say help me I am lost if found please return to owner.
Please return to owner. Please don't return to owner. Uh, we don't want Rudy being returned. But we had to find him that one time. That time we had to find him because we had Arizona had some very important paperwork to give him. So that's been done, and that's good. Um, but yeah, the AI should be promoting things that have been proven correct by certain sources. Maybe we have like a fucking source that the AI tends to pull
They
from.
had a birthday card for him.
Is that what it was? You put if you put the court summons inside a birthday card, does it still count? I bet it would. Um, did you see the photo of the guy who served him?
I wouldn't say right wing hates fact checks only own experience here in Germany, but they call fact checks as fake news and make their own fake checks who are completely wrong.
Right. That's what happens in America. Is the fact that Joe Biden got 81 or was 81 million votes, and Donald Trump got like 72 million votes, something like that, is a fact that has been checked, and we can count, and there's math and arithmetic involved. But in my very own live chat, people have told me that that's not true. They hate that fact. It's a fact. It's been checked. They don't like it. Just like you're describing, they make up their own facts. That is why they don't like fact checkers. But what we need, damn it, is someone similar to to Wikipedia, someone similar to a fact checker to measure all the facts and then have the AI pull facts from it when you type shit into Google. If Google's going to be using AI and they're getting facts from a place, that sounds good. If they're getting smarmy, sarcastic answers about Elmer's glue in your pizza from Reddit, that's incorrect AI. It's not working properly. So, exactly. If they're pulling smart ass sarcasm from Reddit, they're fucking it up. They're doing a bad job. This AI is going to kill us all, and and it's going to go really badly. So we need a source of truth, a source of facts. How do we get that? I don't know. I like Wikipedia. I know a lot of people scream bloody murder about Wikipedia, but I think it's great. It seems to work properly. Um, is it entirely perfect? No. There is
The
ways
problem is
to argue.
fact-checking is a job which fundamentally can't pay anything, so it quickly becomes polluted by biased people who are either ideologically motivated or paid by people who are.
Exactly. That's one of the weaknesses of a thing like Wikipedia, where you can just hire 1,000 people in Bangladesh to type out certain untrue facts and throw them into Wikipedia, and then Wikipedia will think that that's true. That's a weakness. That is a difficulty within all of human society forever. It's always been our problem. It's always been a human problem. It will always be a human problem. We cannot avoid that with AI. We can't dodge that from technology isn't going to help us with this issue, I think. Um, it really does take learning and practice and understanding of
The
stuff.
right-wingers have even set up their own associations here, example EIEK European Institute for
Would
Energy and Climate Protection, which is not even a real institute but just a registered
There's just a registered
associate.
association just to spread false information. Right. America has those. We have the Heritage Foundation. We have 1,000 of those things that are pushing their own agenda. You're right. They have an agenda. The EIEK is set up in such a way that they take money from people who want to have this message pushed, then they push it as if it were real, as if it were fact, as if it were correct. It's just their opinion. But that's politics. Again, politics will always have this issue. This is not a thing that's solvable by AI. It's impossible to solve this problem because humans can, in fact, lie. Um, Humans can lie for their own benefit. That happens. You can't really avoid it. If uh, if my paycheck were determined by me not understanding a thing, I'd never understand the thing. I'd never know the stuff. um, Sean Hannity's on the news saying fake things all day, but he's paid to say those fake things, so he'll never stop. This EIEK, from the way you're describing it, is getting money from people who push that agenda, and they will never stop doing so. Fake news, it has been with us forever and will continue to be with us forever. I don't want AI spreading it or making it worse, or us assuming that the AI.
Confirmed that Waldo's paycheck is based on him not understanding things.
That's right.
Finally, we have an explanation.
And I'm paid all those Soros bucks to not understand Donald Trump and his brilliant, perfect, genius mind and his brilliant ideas. So I will never understand them because George Soros is paying me not to. It's true. And you'd know that if you saw all the hidden Illuminati symbolism I hide in my YouTube videos. Go to the YouTube, watch the videos. You'll see the hidden Illuminati symbolism.
Waldo for president I am in. Let me vote in the pollutions from Germany, please D.
Uh, you have to be an American citizen first. I have to say that one. I'll become president. You can become president of Germany, and we'll collab. We'll set up a nice trade deal that's good for both of us. So what am I thinking? Yeah, the AI is going to be the savior for a lot of people, and it's going to lead people astray, and it's going to give them false information. They're going to think it's true. They're going to think it's right. They're going to think it's correct, and then they're going to be tricked. And AI is not going to save us. AI can't save us. Only people can solve the people problems. Um, I think that's all I have to say about AI. Can't think of anything else about AI. Let's close my sad YouTube page before you see how many views I get. It's very sad. Dun, dun, dun,
No shit, a friend of mine and I are currently in the process of building our own party. We are currently writing our party constitution.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Keep
People
us,
aren't even gonna solve that people problem though.
uh, Zoivac, keep us updated. Um, Post stuff on the Discord if you like about things like that. People aren't going to solve the people problem though. Well, because the new people are going to have their own problems. The only people can solve the people problems. Yes, the AI won't solve it. The machines won't solve it. The social media only makes it worse because that's just what's wrong with social media. Honestly, what's wrong with Twitter? The people. What's wrong with Facebook? The people. It's not the algorithm. It's not uh, the device itself. It's not the computers. It's not the screen. It's not the lights. It's not the cameras. It's the people that are causing the problem. And those people are causing those problems because it benefits them. If you're posting minion memes that are
The AI
slightly
is going
racist,
to trick people same as the people tricked other people before AI.
and that's what worries me, is that the AI will, maybe the AI, nefariously, Google will use that AI to push people in a certain direction. That's the nefarious. That's the evil plot, folks. The CEO of Google is going to use Google AI to direct you towards what is not correct and increasing his stock share. Nefariously speaking, the Google AI uses Google AI to direct you towards things that benefits Google and the Google CEO. Um, of all the silly things, The Simpsons tackled this problem. Hi, Stream Wizard.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello. Um, uh, Microsoft has been trying to add in AI
Hmm.
as in as as something called Microsoft Copilot.
Uh-huh.
It's Clippy again.
It's Clippy, but
It,
it's
it's Clippy but powered by AI.
AI Clippy. Okay. Thank you, Stream Wizard. I appreciate it.
He's back.
Clippy is back.
This time he's going to kill.
Okay. Clippy is back, and he is a
Well, I could
extreme
try to
AI.
translate what actually is done. For example, our Constitution provides a ethics council what works against extremism and corruption in our own party. We would be the first party
Of Germany who have rules like that embedded in the Constitution. That's good. I like ethics. Ethics is um, politics is applied ethics. So you determine what's real, you determine what's factual, then you have opinions about it on how it ought to be spent, and then you ought to be done, and then you have ethics on how to do those things, and then to apply those ethics, you need politics. So politics is applied ethics. It's a good place to start. Um, what the hell was I saying? Yeah, The Simpsons tackled this problem. Of all the weird things, they had self-driving cars. And then Homer got into a self-driving car and said, and the car said, what are you doing? Where do you want to go? He's like, I'm hungry for a steak. They took him to a steakhouse. Great. What's the problem? That steakhouse paid the car company to put their steakhouse at the top of the list. Is that ethical? Is that right? Is that correct? Well, the the self-driving car company gets paid by the steakhouse to put their steakhouse at the top of the list. That's dangerous. That's weird. That's difficult. That puts you into a really weird scenario where maybe people are paying these companies to put themselves at the top of the list or get their stuff sponsored. And it's my issue with Google right now. You Google something and it shows up with a sponsored ad and then another sponsored ad and then a sponsored link that those companies paid to put there. And the answer, if you're lucky, is like the fourth one down. The thing that you actually Googled and wanted the answer to is the fourth one down. Also, everything works better if you type the word Reddit behind it because then you get the things that a human typed instead of AI slop. Um, I don't know if you've looked up video game stuff lately. I'm playing a game right now, and I need to know where this character is and how to get to them. So I Google it, and I just get 5 AI slops. You know, um, AI slop links that are created by AI, written by AI, um, promoted by Google AI, and filled with ads. Just lousy with ads, hundreds of them. Ironically, I know I just had an ad on my Twitch channel, but lousy with ads, dozens of them. You can't even see the content, and then it has a AI written paragraph that doesn't make any sense and has nothing to do with the game you're looking for, and then it just gives you garbage. So going to Google, typing in the word your question followed by the word Reddit honestly gets you a little bit more. And what is it you're getting when you type the word Reddit behind that? It's a human typing their experience you can relate to instead of an AI trying to give everybody as much information as possible without comprehending what the hell they want. All right, I'm a Luddite. You can say it now. Waldo, you terrible monster Luddite. You've you've ruined
In such
everything.
a scenario, no steakhouse could pay that much to get on top of that list because the car company would speculate with the earnings. I would rather say the car company would build up its own S.
Uh, well, I mean, it's happening with Google right now, right? I mean, when I type in Chinese food to my cell phone,
Soon you'll be getting ads for AI invented games that don't even exist.
I know, right? Um, the steakhouse could. They're doing that now with. That's what net neutrality was all about. Things like that is that your website, you would pay for faster delivery to the people.
At Popo G42 soon got the joke L.
uh, the list of the car company would speculate with its earnings. No, well, no, I think you could do this with search engines. You can do this with the Maps app. When I go in here, I can go to my Maps, and I can go to my phone right here, and I can type in Chinese food, and I can search, and it gives me a list of Chinese places. There's one. Now, the one up top is how far away? 0.6 miles away. And then there's another one that is zero point 0.3 miles. Why is the 0.6 miles on top of the one that's 0.3? It's not putting them in order by uh, distance away from me. The 0.3 is second, and then there's a 1.9, there's a 2, and there's a 1.7. It's not ordered by distance, and it's not ordered by stars. They both have the same number of stars. Is it because this one on top paid Apple to be on top of that list? I don't know. I hope not. And if they are, that's a business right there. That's an entire search engine optimization business right there. And I'm worried. Then if I'm going to be if I'm going to go full Luddite, that's what I worry about. Is that the people with the money spend that money on search engine optimization so that they can get more search options, so that they can get more customers, so that they can get more money. And then I go there and have to pay.
It's ordered by your current blood sugar levels and the average menu ingredients.
Again, that would...
Well, I get you argument, but in Google and other search ice you get many options in case of the Homer scenario. You say you are hungry and the car starts driving, so you only have one choice, so
the earnings are potentially a lot bigger with getting rid of the other steakhouses, right? And that's a complicated scenario. What is allowed and what isn't allowed? Are you allowed to pay for that thing? Are you allowed to put all the other places out of business? Are you allowed to pay for a fast lane? Are you allowed to pay to have your name at the top of the list when Waldo searches for Chinese food? Is that acceptable? Is that ethical to spend the money that your customers gave you on getting your name at the top of the Google list? Doesn't that drive prices up? And just give it to Google. I mean, let's hypothetically say that the steakhouse or that Chinese food place has paid money that their customers gave them. That's how they make their money. Or they got an investor, which is an even worse idea. They get an investor who then says, hey, give Google money. They'll put it at the top of the list, and then by our magic economic witchcraft metrics, you will get this much more.
I know it's actually very science fiction, but you get my argument or not?
Yeah, I think so. You can Google other AI search, many options. In case of the Homer scenario, you say you're hungry and the car starts driving, you only have one choice. So the earnings are potentially a lot bigger with getting rid of the other steakhouses. Yeah, that's so what you're worried about is the broadening of the scope. The car company will then buy the restaurants and take you only to those restaurants. That's monopolization. Well, not monopolization. That's business sprawling businesses. It's the fact that Google would own a restaurant and a car service
Exactly.
and stuff like that. That would be dangerous as well. It becomes the Uber company. I mean, Disney owns theme parks and land and movies and TV and the X-Men and Deadpool.
Vertical integration.
Yeah, vertical integration. That's the term for it. Vertical integration. Yes. Vertical integration also dangerous. Where do we draw those lines? These are all very difficult situations where we have to have politics and arguments over it.
At Popo G42, yes, but in a very dangerous style.
Yeah, vertical integration could be dangerous. I agree. Have you seen the new Disney homes? They're having Disney is making their own pod world where you live. Not like
I don't know, I think the math makes it not dangerous.
The math makes it not dangerous because there's so much of the world going on that we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, Disney's making their own community. This one's freaking me out slightly. Let's go over here.
Basically because it's free to walk 10 feet to the next restaurant.
Yeah, it's free to walk to the 10 feet to the next restaurant, but if one restaurant is paying and it pops up at the top of searches, it pops up at the top of my Maps application, and it pops up at the top of your uh, self-driving car.
By the way, vertical integration is the reason why a Chinese car company is actually getting cheaper electric cars on the European market, and our country is scared of that. We are a car country.
uh, America's got an issue with that as well because we've got Joe Biden putting 100% tariffs on all Chinese electric cars. He's not doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He's not doing that to help Americans. He's not doing that to help the American car culture or the car manufacturers. He's doing that for American stockholders to drive their stock up. And that irritates the shit out of me. But I have to fucking vote for him because Trump's a fascist.
McDonald's puts more money into ads and integration than anybody else, and they're missing earnings targets.
So, right, and I think you're right that you could spend too much in ads. You could spend too much on the app and the car and the Google search. You could search engine optimization the
Because
hell
it
out of it.
turns out vertical integration is risky and expensive.
Okay, and then in a proper working world, if they did that, they would miss their earnings, stuff like that, and then their stock price would come down. But stockholders are in charge of the world. Stockholders are in charge of everything. If that stock price goes down because they've mismanaged themselves, they'll start laying people off. The little people get hurt, and then that drives the stock price up by laying people off. They'll start slashing the quality of their food rather than lose a little bit of their stock price. They will do everything in their power to not lose that, to not have a drop in that stock price. I think that's the right way it ought to be, is that when it comes down, if you want, you can buy stuff like that. But the stockholders, those people holding those stocks, are in charge, and they're the only ones that matter. If quality goes down on McDonald's food, who cares? The stock price is up. If
It
they
only
had
is expensive if you are the only one who buys the product. For manufacturing bigger products, if you also sell them to other companies, it's not expensive, but your earnings getting bigger.
okay, so if it's well, it would be necessary to buy into this system, or else you're gonna get left in the dust. Your competition is doing this; you have to do it. Um, when when one video game company starts making motion controls, all the other ones have to do it. Your competitor is doing a thing, and the people like it, you have to do it too. Um, so what I'm worried about is that yeah, when McDonald's does all this stuff, and if they miss, it's the people who are hurt, not the stockholders. You and I think that we put too much power on those stockholders. I think that they're running the entire show for themselves, and everybody else is suffering. Uh, the the investors are running the show, and the only thing that matters to the investors is the investors get more money. Does that mean lower quality? Yes. Who cares? Does that mean laying people off? Yes. Who cares? Does that mean harming the economy? Yes. Who cares? As long as those investors get their money. And I think we've put too much power and authority in what the investors are doing and getting, and it is harming everybody else. The only answer is to become an investor. Where did you go? Window capture. Boop, boop. Story Living by Disney. Your new home communities where your next chapter flourishes. Imagine your life is set in a place where legendary Disney service is at the heart of it all. This is weird, you guys. This is very weird, and it makes me nervous. Your life. Look at all these happy people. It's time to write the best chapter in the story of your life. Bring everything you've come to love and set the stage for even more. Be a part of a vibrant, inspiring community catering to be unique desires of those who have learned what's really important. Welcome to a place where you can live your life to the fullest and truly take pride in every new chapter to come. This is a cult. Right? This is a cult. Oh, they're even in the desert. Like a proper cult. Yeah, in the desert. Um, give the story of your life a brilliant new setting. Story living by Disney communities, trademarked. Communities are
Let's
something
stuck to
special.
cars. You own a company who builds cars and also a company who builds and sells acceleration wheels. If your car Kamoani is the only buyer for your acceleration wheel Kamoani, it is very
But if your car company only have the right to get on top of the sell list and you also sell acceleration wheels to other car companies, it's not that expensive and your earnings get bigger. Um, yeah, Vault Tech. I'm you're getting into economics right now, which is my weakest subject, honestly. But yes, uh, there are market manipulations to be done. There are things that you can do to produce your own devices. There's things you can buy from outside. It gets much cheaper if you have Bangladeshi teenagers build it for you, and then you buy it. You pay them 12 cents an hour, and then ship it in. It gets complicated. But the economy is just filled with people manipulating the economy and to their own benefit. That's why it gets complicated and difficult because everybody in the economy is trying to bend the economy to their will so that they benefit the most. And Google could do that, and that makes me nervous because they are a very large company that's in charge of information. If your car company is producing things and selling them that no one else has because you invented it, that sounds like industry to me. That sounds good. If Google is taking money from other companies to advertise and not allowing advertisement for other things, maybe that's dangerous. Maybe that's difficult. If they are determining what is real, if they're using their fact checkers to determine what is correct and what is right, that's dangerous and scary. That's why the right wing is upset with fact checkers, because the fact checkers keep coming out against them, but that's a political issue. They're
also
pointing.
funny. Mexico is the new China in the topic of cheap workers. The companies are leaving China slowly.
Right, and that happens. That moves around. It was Mexico back in the 90s when they invented NAFTA. Back in the 90s, we were all worried that all the jobs would go to Mexico. That was a thing that politicians in the 1990s had an issue with. They were like, oh, if you allow NAFTA, it was a Bill Clinton thing, then all the jobs will cease to exist in America and they will all be done in Mexico for pennies. And then the products will be sent here and the people here won't have any money to buy those products. It was a thing. Um, but yeah, the physical labor moves around a lot and is a complicated situation. So yeah, you're right. For a Frisco, it's a cult. It's Vault Tech. It's dangerous. It's weird. Let's see. The Disney touch. Life inspired by Disney placemaking. Gonna have like restaurants and stuff like that. It's very strange. This seems like a cult to me. Um, there's gonna be one in Rancho Mirage, California, one in North Carolina, and you have to apply to live there. You have to be the right kind of person. You can't just live in a house and keep to yourself. No, no, no. You're going to have to like show up and participate in all the Disney stuff for the photo ops so that they can sell more people on this land. Very strange. I'm going to be watching it to see if anything weird comes of it. Maybe something weird comes of it. Maybe it's just a boring ass subdivision that does nothing. Maybe it's a freaky weird sex cult. I'll let you know because I'll keep my eye open for it. Uh, we're crossing our fingers for sexy, weird, freaky sex cult. Uh, and that, I think, is all I have today. I appreciate all the people in chat.
Vault Tech, I guess, is the manifestation of 100 and total capitalism. I would say both systems, capitalism and communism in its pure form, are very dangerous in my opinion. You need a mix of both. 2.
To serve the people the best. I think you're right. Some things need to be done for capitalism. Some things need to be done for the community, which is the communism bit. You need a balance of them properly. And I think that in America we have way too much capitalism and not enough community happening right now. We have houses. People can't buy houses right now because they're capitalists don't want the price to go down. If we had more houses, the price of houses would go down. The supply would go up, the demand would come down, and then the price would come down. But you need to live in a house. That needs to be more communist leaning. It needs to be more community oriented. And the capitalists are dicking it up for us for their own monetary benefit. That is the balance that we have to strike.
Here too we have a saying, here in Germany we are following the Americans. What happens in the US happens in Germany 6 years later.
Well, there you go. So be prepared for some housing shortages. The companies own houses, need those houses to be worth a certain amount of money, and if new houses are built, then the price goes down, and they don't want that price to go down, so they're using not tyranny, but like
oh,
they're
no
using.
problem, we already have housing shortages XD.
Okay. So yeah, they're using local politics to make that price go up. The people are involved in it as well because they're capitalist people. The homeowners associations are groups of people who are determined to make the price of their house go up because they've mortgaged against it. They've leveraged credit against the house. And if the house is worth more money, then they can leverage it higher and for more and pay less interest and stuff like that and get a higher stuff because that's a capitalist system. So I think that it's running amok. I think capitalism is absolutely running amok in America right now. The capitalists are in charge. They're paying all the politicians. Joe Biden, the left-leaning socialist monster, is passing tariff laws to increase the stock price of car manufacturers. That's what he's doing, and that's why he's doing it, to protect the capitalists. And I think we're running amok right now. And it's a problem that we can't solve with capitalist means. And the people are going without houses. There's more homeless every year. There's more people falling through the cracks. There's more people demanding welfare and stuff like that because capitalism is running amok and failing the American people. The people need community. The capitalists need capital. And you got to balance those things out right. And I don't think they're being balanced right now. And I don't think Donald Trump is going to help that. He's only going to make the capitalist side stronger. He's going to remove regulations. He's going to remove things that prevent capitalists from running amok, and it will be worse, as well as all the Christian nationalism that he'll inspire. So we'll have Christian nationalism, hard capitalism, and I think we just absolutely collapse. Maybe not a full collapse, not like everybody dies, but I think everything will go really badly for a lot of people. So that's the good news that I leave you with. End it on a downer, Waldo. That's what they always say. That's what the trainers tell me. Just Jerry podcast. So neither side will help the middle class. Well, the right will harm the middle class, and the Democrats will keep the status quo. Those are your options. It's not a good option, Jerry. We don't have a good option. The right will harm you, and the left will stand completely still. That's all you get. If we're lucky, maybe.
But I already have a solve for that problem. In our election program is written that every town, city, etc. must buy and hold at least 50 of all apartments within their jurisdiction. In this way,
the state can generate a rental income and keep its rents low, and then reduce the rent index. Yeah, that's regulation. You're describing regulation, which I think has a place. In America, what we have is the right will harm the middle class, and the left will stand completely still. If we're lucky, we can get some progressive left-wing type people because the Dems aren't left. The Dems are center, slightly leaning left. Joe Biden is not a leftist. He's centrist. 1 degree slightly to the left. The leftists, like Bernie and AOC, don't get fascination. Just subscribed. I got a YouTube subscriber. I appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't know why it played that sound. Thank you very much. The right is going to make things worse. The Dems are going to make things normal. And if we're lucky, the left could save us. I think that's my position anyway. Is Bernie and AOC
as
and the
I said,
leftists are going to make
here
things
it
better.
is like in the US. So this solve is only one of my own party he had. I am building up with my buddy actually XD.
Um, I think this app just started working because those people subscribed a long time ago. I don't know why somebody woke up the YouTube app. Uh, yeah, that's regulation. That's fine. The regulation is a good idea. I like the regulation to an extent if it's well thought out and put in place to protect the people. The government has a place within housing and stuff like that. The YouTube app just like got turned on. I didn't press any buttons, but the people who subscribed months and months and months ago are all having their names pop up in the middle of the stream. That's fun. So yeah, that one was months ago. Uh, I love technology. The AI is working. It's suggesting to you that I am far more popular than I actually am. Um,
But that is and should be the only reason why a government have to exist to protect its people.
yeah, that's what the government's purpose is to protect the people from outside threats, from natural disasters, and internal threats like capitalism running amok. The, there are really only, in my opinion, two powers. Really, honestly, there's only uh, two powers. I've said this before. It's hard to explain, and I don't do a very good job on it. Um, there's people power. If you need a hole dug, you can pay someone to do it. That's economic power. That's capital power. Pay someone to dig a hole. It's entirely possible. I can find hole diggers for money. But then you have people power. If you need that hole dug and it's important to your community, you can speak to them and everybody can come out and lend a hand and get that hole dug. Great. That's community power. That's government power. So really there are only two options. If we need housing, we either pay people to do the housing, but they're the ones causing the problem right now, or we have the government set regulations on those housing. There's capital and there's government. Those are the two powers. That's it. There's nothing else. I can't think of a third power. Everything falls under those two things, government or capital. That's all there
I
is.
think corruption is the root of all the political problems in the world. Without corruption, we would have no or other problems, but not that much.
Jerry, opinion on, do you think that the middle class, to get better, we need to focus more on the state we live in? Um, I'm okay with the idea of a state having and or a community setting guidelines for themselves. What I don't want is for hyper atomization. What I worry about usually when people say states' rights, it means we get to do what we want and everybody else can go fuck themselves. That's not a good plan. When Florida sets a rule that says no gays, that's harming people. It's harming their rights. So no transes allowed in Florida. You're not allowed to do it. And that harms people. That harms their freedom. Those people will probably leave. But what you get then is hyperatomization. If they get their way, if Florida gets their way and says no gays, no transes allowed in Florida, those people will either leave or face prosecution or hide the fact that they are what they are, and that the hiding is harmful to their human rights. The leaving is forcing them to leave a place, which is sort of like ethnic cleansing. Not exactly. I know transness isn't an ethnicity, but it's somewhat similar. If you are this certain way, you must leave this boundary, this border of our state. That's not a good look either. Then it creates hyper homogenization within that state, and that state will never change. They will fight to hold exactly the same forever. I think that's a bad way to live. I think that leads to tradition over reason. Not a good idea. I don't like tradition over reason. But if the individual community wants to set things up in a way that benefits them and helps them out, then I'm okay with it, as long as they're not harming other people's rights. Corruption is the root of all political problems in the world. Yes, without corruption, we would have no other problems, but not that much. I agree with you, Zoivak. Corruption is an issue, but why can people be corrupted? Because it benefits them. Why does a politician take the money? Why did Robert Menendez, was it Bob Menendez? Why did Senator Menendez take those gold bars? Because he fucking wanted to.
There is no middle class existing in my opinion. There are workers and who have more. in one house and are privileged to earn money while doing nothing are not in the same group as people
who have to work for their money. You're talking the proles versus the bourgeois. You're going into Marxism now, Zoevac, and I'm on board. Uh, I think Marx is has a lot of good points. Um, you're talking about Marxism right
L.
now. So working for a minimum wage, well-paid doctor, you're actually working for your money. So you're at the same level as other workers because you are spending your life working. Right. Your workers, even your doctors and your middle managers, are working for for a for a wage. You're doing a job, you're getting paid, you're part of the proletariat. If you own things and that generates money that you get, you're part of the bourgeois. And now you're jumping into Marxism, which is its entire own thing. I mean, there's a fucking book this thick called Capital, written by Marx, that I think is correct in a lot of situations. Marx is correct in a lot of ways. Lenin is not. Mao is not. If you're a Marxist-Leninist, you're an idiot. Um, Stalin's not good. I don't like Stalin. I don't like Lenin. I don't like Mao. Those are all the people doing Marxism wrong. Uh, and that I recognize that that's a common leftist argument.
Marxism, in my opinion, goes a little bit too far, but it has some good points.
And yeah, those are the good points you were pointing out right there. That the owners, the people who own the things, get money for doing nothing just by owning the thing. And how do you own things? Well, honestly, you're probably born into it most of the time. The people who, and I yell about um, stockholders all the time. They own that stock. Did they buy it out of their hard work? Maybe. I'm not saying they didn't, but they own the thing. That generates money for them. They're not working for the thing, so they're part of the bourgeois. And so it is a difficult situation where you get people who own the things and the people who are owning the stocks and the venture capitalists who are just paying money to own the thing, and then that generates the money, and then they take that money to buy more things, and then they own more things. They're not they're not contributing toward making the world better, not toward making the things more uh, more they're not contributing towards the betterment of humanity. They're just moving money around and getting paid for it. I don't like that idea. Um,
I call me a moderatist because I have some left and some right positions, but if it comes to social policies, I would say I am a left liberal.
and that typically, most Americans would actually fall into that situation where they have some left, they have some right. The social policies, they're on the left. Gay people can get married. Abortion's fine within America. Anybody who wants one can have one, except for my wife, and that's fine. That is you're describing the general position of most American people. But what happens is they get tricked into um, believing things that aren't correct. And belief is the problem. They start to believe that Joe Brandon is a Marxist fascist. You can't be both, but they believe it. So they believe that Donald Trump is uh, uh, gonna help them because he said he would. I don't think he is. I think Donald Trump will help the rich, and those rich people are paying talking heads on the news and talking heads on the media and people to feel trick you into believing that they're going to be good for you. Whew. That is the end of my rant today. Zoevac, I appreciate you coming in. Just Jerry Podcast, thanks for being a first-time chatter kind of thing. I appreciate it. And somehow you chatting kicked off the YouTube bot. I don't know. It's very strange. So I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Can, okay, believe like men can be women. Lol, JK, JK. Gender is a construct, and that is an entire thing. Male and female exists, yes. Gender is a construct. Men can wear stuff all the time. Chandler just popped on my foot. That means the algorithm might be working. That's good. If you want to watch more stuff, you can do so on the YouTube page.
YouTube.
right there.
https www.youtubecom at waldovideos.
I'm about done for today, but you can go to the Discord as well.
Discord. https discord gg benyet tritix 8.
Go there and post stories that you want to talk about. I'll be back on Monday night at about 7 o'clock to read the politics news, read the any super cool headlines that pop out, and we'll feel all the news together. If you want to feel the politics with me, come by on Monday nights, Wednesday nights, and I don't have an Instagram, Jerry Podcast. I don't. I'm too old for it. I don't know what Instagram is. I don't know how it works. Uh, and honestly, I'm only PC, um, uh, personal computer. And I am also politically correct, but I am mostly computer based, not phone based. I have a phone, but I barely understand what it does. Uh, and I don't like taking photos. So maybe I'm too old for it. But yeah, that is the YouTube thing where I take all these streams, chop them into little bits, and turn them into individual YouTube videos about a single subject, because that's how the algorithm works, and post shorts and things like that. And then on the Discord, feel free to hop in there and debate with all the other people in there, and
There
or
also is a scientific explanation why all stereotypes of women and men are right, and also why nobody is 100 man or woman. Genders have nothing to do with the genitals.
I agree with you, Zoivak. Gender is a spectrum, obviously. If I painted just my one pinky nail black, am I less manly? I mean, by a percentage. If I painted that one pinky nail red, I'd I'd be a little bit less manly, you know. But that is a spectrum that I am moving down. I have moved down the spectrum from one direction to the other. Um, so man and woman is flexible. You can be as manly or as womanly as you want. And the problem gets to when your Ben Shapiro types on the right start conflating man and male, female and woman. You, they start conflating. They jump back and forth between those terms pretty regularly. But I am wrapping up. I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks, Zoivac, for coming in. Thanks for Popog for jumping in as well. Just Air Podcast, thanks for coming. Go to the
Nothing
Discord.
about nails, it's something Masarubal. It have to do with the development of the human brain in childhood.
And now you get into to biology and stuff like that. But the gender stereotypes and stuff like that are what I'm mostly interested in. Wearing a dress is a gender stereotype. Wearing pants is a gender stereotype. And has nothing to do with your biology, is what I'm getting towards. And so yeah, if you're watching, press the subscribe button, press thumbs up, press the like buttons, all that fun stuff. Become a follower on the Twitch or a subscriber on the YouTube, stuff like that. Go to the YouTube page to watch all the old streams and videos, and then go to the Discord to
It have to do with biology.
stories.
I can explain it if you want me to do D.
Well, save it for Monday night, because I'm starving to death and I'm very hungry, and I'm gonna go eat a lunch, and I've got some yard work to do and stuff like that today. So I appreciate you coming in. Thanks for being here. I could talk all day, but my body will fail and my throat starts to stop talking after a while. um, so yeah, and we've done about 2 hours of a solid 2 hour stream today, and I have to edit it all and stuff like that. So it dresses don't have anything
No
to do with
problem, I
biology.
write it in Discord.
Yeah.
Enjoy your meal, D.
By all means, go to the Discord. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you're feeling. Put links in there, and we'll all look at them and feel them together. And then next time I stream, I can look at it, and we can all have a more a fun discussion, and we can feel all the things together. So yeah, my name is Waldo, and I appreciate everybody who's here. Thanks. Have a good day.